Hi everyone, a very warm welcome to our YouTube channel ArvindTechz. And here, this is Arvind, your instructor for this session. In this session, we are going to learn the most frequently used lookup functions. These are very important functions that everyone should know in their professional life. This will help you very much in your professional career to solve many critical lookup issues. So don't skip and watch this video till end. Let's start. The first function which we will see is VLOOKUP. So what is the use of VLOOKUP function in Excel? VLOOKUP function in Excel is used to look up the values with a reference cell and fetch the value from selected lookup table array vertically, or you can say by column wise. This is one of the most widely used Excel functions. We can use a table or a single column to look up the value. As you can see on your screen, I have took the sample data. In the data, I have employee ID as a unique key or unique value, then first name, last name, department, and the salary column. We can look up the values from three different sources, like in the same sheet, the other sheet, or from the other workbook. In the first example, we will look up in the same worksheet. Here we need salary of random employees to be fetched. The syntax of this function is press equal to VLOOKUP open parentheses. In lookup value, we will select the cell which we want to look up. Here we will select employee ID. Then in the table array, we will select entire table as salary column is at last position. Here we will fix the table array by giving $sign in between, pressing F4 as shortcut. And in column index, we need to provide the column number of respective column from where we need to fetch the information. Here salary column number is at 5th position. So column number is 5th. Remember here column number which we will count is not from the start of the sheet but from the selected highlighted table. If you can see, the salary attribute is at number 5, and in the range lookup, true for approximate match and false for exact match. You can also put 1 as approximate and 0 for exact match. That's it. As we can cross check the result, it is exactly as expected and matching. Now paste special the formula below. It will fetch the exact matching records. We'll again see here what we did in lookup value. Here, what we want to look up for and ensure it should be the unique information. As in the VLOOKUP, it will take the first matching record. In the table array, we can select the entire table, or if the result column is after the lookup value column, then you can select up to that column as well. Here we need to select from lookup value column up to result column in the table array. Then the column index count, how many columns from right side, the exact column number of a result column, and then false or true if you want exact or approximate match. Let's see the other example. First we will look up in the same sheet here. We want department name against the employee ID. We will use the formula in same way. Lookup value. Then in the table array, instead of full table, we will select from employee ID up to department, as we want department name to be fetched. Then column number of department attribute, that is 4. And as we want the exact, we will select false or 0. The department name is matching exactly as expected. Now we will take the same values from other sheet. The sheet name is other. We will look up in the same way. As you can see, The results are again exact matching. That means we can look up from any other sheet of current workbook. In the next example, we will look up from other workbook that is saved in some different path. Let's see. We will take book 3 as a different workbook. Here we will fetch first name from the employee ID. We will use it in same way in the table array. Here we do not need to select the entire table. We will select only second column, that is lookup column, and the result column. You can see the reference in formula. It shows as books, sheet 1. As you can see, we got the exact matching and correct values from other workbook as well. Perfect. In the below example, we will use data validation. Here we will fetch first and last name from employee ID. First, we will add all the employee IDs in the data validation list. For that, in data menu, select data validation list, select all the employee IDs. You can see all the employee IDs have been added in drop down list. Now use VLOOKUP to fetch first name and then last name. You can see as soon as we change the employee ID in drop down list, we are getting the exact matching name against respective employee ID. Cool. To understand the same function in detail, here is another example. It is also called as 3D lookup. Here we have the monthly and yearly sales. In the method 1, we need to fetch the data month-wise. For this, we will use the VLOOKUP function in the same way. Remember here, we have to fix the month column cells. For that, we will add $sign in front of the cell name. To understand cell referencing in detail, you can check my cell referencing video. I will paste the link in the description. Coming back, then we will fix the table array as we will be using the same for all cells. Then put the result column manually in the respective with year column. Now paste the formula below. You can double check the result matching and accurate. In the method 2 example, we will mix VLOOKUP and match function. You will be able to understand how to use two functions in dynamic way. In the above example, we put column numbers manually. Here we need it all in dynamic way. We will first select lookup value and fix the column. Then we will select entire table and fix the row and again the column. Then in column index, we need column number in dynamic way. For that, we will use match in lookup value and will select year cell. And we will fix the row using $sign exact after cell name character. In lookup array, we will select above table from D7 to I7 and we will fix the cells and in match type 0 and close the VLOOKUP function. Now paste specially formulas in all the cells. If you can cross check all the values are perfect. This function is very useful to prepare dashboards and fetch the pivot values or retrieve values from the data dump dynamically. Good. One more example we will see of VLOOKUP using approximate match. In this example, we will calculate class by marks. On the screen, you can see the criteria where the student having less than 40 should be as fail, less than 60 as second class, less than 80 as first class, and above 80 as distinction. Remember, criteria column must be sorted in ascending order. We will give random marks using rand between function. Now we will use VLOOKUP in the same way, only in range lookup we will select the true for approximate match. If we paste special the formula below, we can see the output is as per our criteria. So this is the use of approximate match. Remember few things before using VLOOKUP functions, that VLOOKUP cannot find values from right to left. We can find values from left to right only. Another important thing is lookup value should belongs to first column of the table array. And one more important point is, as soon as VLOOKUP find first match, VLOOKUP stops looking and shows the first result in the output. And this you know already, 1 for approximate and 0 for exact match. Remember to check your understanding on Excel. All the companies ask questions related to this function only. So prepare this function very strong. Cool. The next lookup function which we will see is Hlookup. As its name suggests, Hlookup function looks up values horizontally. On the screen you can see, in this scenario we have data horizontally. To look up the values horizontally, we have the function Hlookup. Here in this example, we will fetch the sales amount against employee ID. Basically, Excel Hlookup function is used to retrieve data from specific row in a table. Let's start and see how this function works. The syntax for this function is press equal to Hlookup, open parentheses, select lookup value as employee ID. Here, lookup value should be unique. And in the table array, you will select whole table data as result row is at last. Hence, we will select the entire table. In row index, you will specify the row, that is, in which row your data is. And then false, as we need exact match. As you can see, the output is exactly what we need. Let's see the formula in more detail. Here you can see I have put it in more descriptive way. First, the value which you want to look up. Remember, this should be a unique value. In lookup value, the value which you want to look up as a unique value should come in lookup value. The table array means where you want to look for it, then the row number where you want to fetch the values from. And the false or true, false as an exact match and true as an approximate match. We'll cross check randomly all the sales amount is matching with respective to their employee IDs. Remember, same VLOOKUP rules applies to Hlookup function. However, only the difference here is in VLOOKUP we look in columns and here we look in rows, that is vertically and horizontally. Cool. Let's see one more important functions, that is index and match function. Index match is not one function. We have to combine these two functions, that is index and match, to get the result. As we know in VLOOKUP, we cannot retrieve the values from right to left. However, this is the solution to the VLOOKUP to retrieve the values from right to left. At first, we will see how index and match function individually works. First, we will see index. To make you index function understand more easily, here I have took the month data. Index functions returns a value of the index. Means we can give index number to retrieve the values of specific row or column. Syntax of index is array where we will select months data, and in row number if you want row, or column number if you want column. As here my data is in one column and my values are row wise. So I will give as 4 to fetch the fourth row number value. As you can see, it is showing as April as fourth index row number tells us I have April value. Likewise, you can fetch from horizontal values. Only instead of row number, we will put column number here. Perfect. Likewise, match function returns the position of a value in a range. It is exactly opposite of what index function does. We will use same data as an example. Syntax is equal to match. In lookup value, we can give the value which you want to look up. You can also mention the same in double quote. Here we will select as April and will look up that into lookup array that is in months data. Then match type, as we need exact, here we will give as exact match. As you can see, it returns as exact row position number of lookup value. We can also get the column number in same way. Good. I hope now you got little bit idea how this function works. Let's see by combining two functions together. On the screen, you can see I have data of employee ID, first name, last name, and email IDs. Here in the first example, we need email ID by giving employee ID as lookup value. And in the second, we will use in reverse way from email ID, we will pull employee ID. We will use in reverse way, that is from right to left and left to right. Let's see how we can use this function as VLOOKUP. The syntax of this function is type equal to index. In array, you will select result column, means the email ID column. As we need to fetch email ID, we will fix the same by putting $sign by pressing F4 as shortcut. Then in row number, we will add match function. Then select lookup value as employee ID. Lookup array means where employee ID column is. Again, we will fix employee ID column as well, as the position should not be changed. Then 0 to match it exact. That's it. You can see we got the expected result. Now, as usual, paste the formula below. You can see the value fetched are exactly matching against their employee ID. Let's check it in more detail what we have did. You can see here, first we put index, then selected result column, means what you want to fetch. We fix those cells, then add match, select lookup value, then lookup value column, in which column lookup values are, that column. Fix the cell and the match type as exact. Here match types are like exact, less than, greater than. Here we want exact, we will select it as exact. If you are working with numbers, then you can try using other options. You will get expected result. We fetch the matching data. Let's see the same in reverse order if this is giving us correct result or not. Here we will fetch employee IDs which are at left hand side by looking up with email ID which is at right side. Here we will fetch employee IDs which are at left hand side by looking up with email ID which is at right side. We have to do it in same way. Press equal to index open parentheses. First select employee ID column as this is our result column. We will fix it by putting dollar sign in between, then match lookup value as email ID, and in lookup array we will select email column and exact as we need exactly matching. Now this is giving us exactly matching results. Very easy to use, simple technique, and it is the best solution for looking up from right to left or left to right, whichever you want. Fantastic. Let's try below if it is giving the same result if we have the data given in horizontal way. This is sample data where monthly sales are there. We need to fetch given month sale by looking up horizontally using index and match. Let's try this. First index array. Here we will select the result row as we have data horizontally. Then match lookup row value as given month, and in lookup array select month row. Fix the cell and 0 for exact match. That's it. Perfect. And wow, this is working efficiently horizontally as well. Let's see the same function in more detail. Let's check how to apply lookup in rows and columns at one time. As you can see, I have the data of yearly and monthly sales, and I need to retrieve or fetch the records for below specific month and years too. That is horizontally as well as vertically. To get the same, we will use index the array as above values table, as this is our result column, or rows. Then we will fix them using dollar sign in between. We are fixing the cells because we don't want the position number to be changed. Then we will use match function. Again row number, and in lookup value we will select respective month of that row, that is April, cell F27. We will fix the column, then select lookup array from above data, that is F9 to F21. We will fix the cells again, then we will put 0 as we want exact match. So again use match function in lookup value. We will select year value, that is G26, and here we will again fix the row as we need column moving and row at same position. And in lookup array we will select year values from above table G8 to K8. We will fix the cell and 0 as we need exact match. If we cross check for month April and year 2013, the 749 value is exact match as we want. Now pay special the formula in other cells. You will see that all the values exactly matching and correct as per our requirement. Another dynamic and newly launched function which we will see is Xlookup. This is the best inbuilt solution which Microsoft launched in their Office 365 version. In this function, we can look up values horizontally or vertically. Means we can look up rows as well as column. This is very useful function. To understand, we will use this sample data where I have employee ID, first name, last name, email, department and salary data. First, we will see Xlookup where we need to retrieve email against their employee ID. Syntax is Xlookup, open parenthesis, lookup value as employee ID, then lookup array. We will select employee ID column in our sample data. You can fix it by using dollar sign in between. Then in return array, we will select result column, that is email column. You can fix the cells if you want. If you do not want your cell positions to be changed. In if not found, simply put 0 as we don't want any action to be performed if the values are not found. As you can see, we got the result which we want and it's exactly matching and correct values. Let's see the formula again what we did. As you can see on your screen, I took the formula here to make you understand in simple way. At first, in lookup, mention or select a cell which you want to look up. Then lookup array, this would be range input which provides an area for Xlookup to search lookup values. Then return array, this would be the result column, the value which we need to return. Then if not found, this is an optional. Normally, Excel produces a hash NA error. It's up to you. Then the search mode, this is also optional. Default would be 1. Then the match mode, this is also optional. If you don't give any, by default it will take as 0. 0 means as a exact match. You can check others like greater than, less than or wild characters match. In the next example, we will see with horizontal data. Here we have data of blood group against employee ID. We will fetch blood group of the given employee number. We will use Xlookup, then in lookup value as employee ID, lookup array as employee ID row, then fix the cells and the return array row, that is blood group row, from which we want values to be fetched and 0, 1. It's okay if you don't specify this, as by default it will take 0 and 1. As you can see on the screen, we got the correct blood group against respective employee ID. In other below example, we will check if Xlookup can fetch left-hand side data. Use the function as it is. You can see Xlookup can go left-hand side also. As you already know that VLOOKUP can't fetch left-hand side values. It is the best function of Office 365. And please remember these few things before using Xlookup. So where you can find the benefits and the below things you have to keep in mind. In this way, we have covered all the lookup function which are commonly used in Excel. We will stop here. Let me know your feedback, and if you really like the video, please share, subscribe and hit the below thumbs up button. It will give me a good motivation to bring to you something better. Thank you so much for watching. This is Arvind signing off. Take care. Bye bye.